Welcome to another bonus edition of Upon Further Review.
Upon further review,
And in this edition, we'll be talking about the Minnesota Vikings at the New Orleans Saints. This Week 3 matchup happens on September 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can catch that on your local Fox affiliates. So here we have the Vikings going into New Orleans. The Vikings are coming off that loss to the Patriots where Matt Castle threw 4 interceptions. In Week 1, they had routed the Rams, but that's the Rams. And that was with their third-string quarterback. So that really means nothing. And of course, that game against the Patriots, that's the game that you really see who the Vikings are. And I'll tell you what, even in Week 1, AP didn't do nothing. Didn't really matter. He wasn't in Week 2. And even if he was here in Week 3, it wouldn't make a difference. Of course, he's a criminal and is going to jail, and he'll never play football again. That's neither here nor there. With the Saints, they're going to intercept Matt Castle, just like the Patriots did. They're going to force those turnovers. Yes, the Saints are 0-2, and people thought going into the season that the Saints were going to be a Super Bowl team. That looks like a long road now, down 0-2 to begin the season. It's not impossible, but it's going to take them, winning some road games. But that's the thing. They played 2 games on the road. This is their first game at home, their home opener. They don't lose in the Superdome. They are going to come out extremely strong in this game. Drew Brees is going to put up huge numbers. They don't have Mark Ingram. He's injured. He's going to be out for a few weeks. I'm not sure exactly how many, but he's not playing this game for sure. And so it's going to come down to Pierre Thomas and Kyrie Robinson. Those 2 guys are talented backs. And sure, Ingram is their feature. He's the main guy they have. He's a great runner. He's very strong. Kyrie Robinson, though, he's pretty good. He's really quick. He can move in and out of cuts. He's a more than capable runner. Pierre Thomas, he's a little older, but he's not as strong as Ingram, but he can do some power running. He can also catch the ball out of the backfield, as well as Kyrie's really good at doing that. So they shouldn't really, they're going to miss him a little, but not so much, especially with the type of offense that they run, being that they're more pass-oriented and the offense really goes through Drew Brees in that passing game. But you expect to see, Jimmy Graham be a focal point and get a huge, yards in this game. Jimmy Graham should be in the end zone a few times. And if you have a chance to get him on your fantasy for this week, Drew Brees and Jimmy Graham should put up big numbers. So the Vikings, they're not going to be able to stop them. And they're not going to really be able to put up much points. That Saints defense is going to shut them down. The Saints, their defense is like 2 different defenses when they're on the road and when they're at home. So far, we haven't seen them at home this year, but we've seen from last year. When they're at home, their defense plays twice as good. So we'll get a glimpse of that, and we'll see here in this game. The first home game of the season, is that the same thing this season? I fully expect it to be. They're a team that last year they were, I believe, 8-0 at home, but then only 2-6 on the road, if I'm correct on that one. I might be wrong. If you know exactly, leave a comment below and correct me if I am wrong. I believe that to be true. In this season so far, though, for the Saints, they lost that tight game in Atlanta by just 3 points in overtime. There's no shame in that. And the Falcons are actually a much better team this year. I fully expect them to bounce back after that disappointing season, and so far, that's how things are looking. We'll see as we move forward, though. As they had that really good game Week 1, but then they lost in 2. That's the Falcons. We'll talk about that later. But then with the Saints, though, in Week 2, again, another heartbreaking loss for New Orleans fans, this time in Cleveland by 2 points. So, they've lost both their games by a total of 5 points. And that's just 1 touchdown. So you can't really judge the Saints as, you can't detract them from being a playoff team or say that they're not going anywhere. when the games they lost were close games on the road. Those are the kind of games that actually a team like the Saints does lose. So it's more of a scheduling thing. If they had started off with home games, they'd probably be 2-0, but they start off with 2 road games. They lost them by a field goal and then 2 points. So right here, they're going to finally get a win in the win column. And it's going to come here at home, and it's going to come against a team that is not even really, close to being competitive with the Saints when it's in New Orleans. If it was in Minnesota, the Saints still win, but maybe it'd be close. It's in New Orleans. The Saints are going to destroy them. This is going to be another game. I think it's going to be double digits. It's going to be a field day for Drew Brees. He's going to put up huge numbers. I mean, this week right here, I expect to see some big performances from some quarterbacks. And one of those, and probably the quarterback who has the biggest week, should be Drew Brees against the Vikings. We shall see, though. Like I say, he's missing Ingram. But I believe that the Saints are going to win this game easily. I think their defense should intercept Castle. That trend should continue. We might even see Teddy Bridgewater. And that's actually about the only thing that can save the Vikings at this point. And even I'm not really sure that he can, even though he was looking really good in the preseason. But we shall see about that, whether Bridgewater gets on the field and whether he's even has any effect on the game if he does. Either way, the Saints win this one and they win it easy. That's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm very interested to hear your opinions. Thank you very much for listening. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, as we bring you Upon Further Review every weekend. We have multiple Upon Further Reviews, as we have the one that we include in our prediction show, The Wedge, for the Thursday night game, and then throughout the weekend leading up until Sunday, we have Upon Further Reviews for every single game on the NFL schedule that weekend. So once again, thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the show.